Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Deadball Specialist entitled Baldilocks and the Three Goats. And first of all, we want to welcome back Ahmed. So welcome back to the fold, mate. Nice to have you back. Having a week hiatus.
Pleasure to be back.
This short-term lived hamstring injury of all time, 1 week. But he's back, so it's lovely to have you back, mate. I've missed you.
Thank you, mate. I had Jamie Vardy's physiotherapist patch me up.
Double quick up.
Some experimental steroids, so healed quicker than I anticipated.
Some horse blood like the Barcelona. But so this week we'll be looking at the weekend's results. We're going to bypass last week's, and we'll also be looking at that question that I posed to you 2 weeks ago, Ahmed, which was who are the three best players from Liverpool and who are the three best players from Arsenal and why? Parameters are open. You can discuss use any reason you want, no issues. So without much further ado, let's just jump straight into this week's games. First game we're going to look at actually is Leicester-Newcastle. Reason I wanted to look at that one because obviously 4-2 to Newcastle, massive result. Really puts a dent on Leicester's Champions League hopes. And their last three games are Liverpool, Man United and City. So really tricky games. They've got the hardest run of everyone. And now Chelsea obviously sitting above them, but we'll jump onto that game shortly. I thought, like I said, it's a huge result. Newcastle are safe now. And Leicester's Champions League dreams up in the air. So Mexican man missed the sitter at the beginning of the game. And when he missed that, I thought, Leicester's just going to take this now, aren't they? Because it was such an easy chance. And for someone of his quality, should have buried it. Essentially just tapping. But Willock can't stop scoring, mate. Your Arsenal boy getting goals. And like you said, he scored more than all of your centre mids combined, doesn't he? Now?
He's extended that record now, mate.
Yeah. Newcastle were really aggressive, I thought, from the off. Really impressive throughout. But they were just hungry for the game. It's nice to see them. When they press high up the pitch, Newcastle are a decent counter side. They've got enough players in that team, I think. And it goes a bit undervalued because of the season they've had. Wilson being in the squad is a massive difference as well for Newcastle. Lovely double from him. And Leicester showed a bit of resurgence at the end, but I thought overall Newcastle were comfortable winners and they deserved it by a country mile.
Oh yeah, 100 million %. I was wrong about Newcastle. I said they were going to go down.
You did.
I said Fulham were going to stay up. So I've kind of made that. But my other prediction looks like it's coming true, which Brendan Rodgers is going to do his classic patented brand of falling out of the top four or giving the league away, basically just shitting the bed. So I think that will happen. I didn't know that was their run-in, but now I'm even more convinced they're gonna fall out of the top four. They did not look good at all. At one point, Newcastle were 4-0 up, which kind of they put a bit of respectability back onto that score because it was looking like a 4-0 game. And once again, Joe Willock, he is. We've always known he's had that in his locker, but we've had.
Would you start him week in week out at Arsenal? You wouldn't, would you?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
He'd walk into that midfield. I mean, who's better than him in that midfield? Xhaka, who's got one goal. El Neni.
No.
Ceballos. Don't get me started on that waste, man.
But does Willock sit that deep?
No, he plays like the Aaron Ramsey role. He plays in like an 8. He kind of sits, middle of the park, but, makes late runs into the box and scores. And he's done that a lot for Newcastle. And he's just showing his quality. Ramsey-esque in a way, which is a huge compliment, I think.
Yeah, that is a massive compliment.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's there, but I'm saying I see some of those qualities: timing, arriving in the box late, getting a goal, being good with your head, all of that. So, yeah, I have no idea why he was sent out on loan. It's a criminal decision.
Right, okay. Are you happy for us to move on to the next game? Anything else you wanted to add on to that? Okay, so let's look at the Chelsea City game. Now, very interesting game. I thought you could tell neither manager wanted to give anything away for the final, right? That's the first thing. City made 9 changes, so let's also put that on the game as well. He played 9 changes from his last match. The first half felt like a chess game. It was quite boring, quite dull. I know City got the goal at the end, and really they could have put the game to bed with Aguero's penalty. What he was doing, it's very unlike Aguero to take a penalty like that. I can't remember the last time I've ever seen him take a penalty like that. So I thought it was just a bit unusual. But it was a good move for the goal for City. And the second half, Chelsea kept the ball a lot better, were a lot more attacking. I thought Foden, when he come on, again, looked good, looked really good, very silky in the moments he had the ball. Billy Gilmore is who I actually wanted to give a massive shout out to.
Oh yeah,
I've seen him play before, but he looked really at ease in that team. He controlled the ball well, he was spraying the pass well, picked up well, was always looking for the ball. Like really, one of the few Chelsea players. I know Kante's like that, but there was not that many Chelsea players doing that in that game. But he was one of the first to just be like, "Give the ball, I'll take it in any position." 3 players around him, he was still asking for the ball. So confident young man. The equaliser from Ziyech, fine, was a nice finish. It felt like maybe Edison could have done a bit better with that. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, he got a hand on it. I think if you get a hand on it, you should keep it.
Yeah, and I think it was another bit of poor defending. It was a lucky goal. I mean, the finish was pure. Like, he hit it onto his left foot and he just chipped the goalkeeper. It wasn't intentional.
Pure
but City's been done twice by Tuchel now since he's come in,
which is amazing. Because if you look at what he inherited from Lampard, right? I think they were 7th. They were not looking good at all. Didn't they get battered home by Burnley as well? Or
they did, but the squad is amazing. There's no two ways about it.
Of course, the squad is amazing.
Incredible.
But that shows you how bad Frank was. The Tuchel's come in and done what he's supposed to with this squad and got a little bit more out of them as well. Never would have thought they would have got to a Champions League final. I thought City in the first half were very good, kept the ball well, typical City. They went 1-0 up. And then the penalty, I'm thinking, if that penalty goes in, I think it's game over.
I think so. But Tuchel even said that in his post-match commentary. He said if they scored a second, maybe the game's over before it started.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly. The game would have been over. So knowing that, and knowing that would have confirmed their Premier League title, for Aguero to take a Panenka is criminal.
That's what I mean.
Right? And if I was Guardiola, 2 weeks' wages, fine. If my player had done that on Football Manager, 2 weeks' wages, and you're going down to the reserves for like a month.
You're going to send them down to the reserves. I mean, Pep said after the game, he's like, I gave him the penalty, he chose to do that. It's his decision.
Idiot.
They are professional footballers. You have to remember, Aguero's got a lot of goals for this club.
How many times, and I always kind of hark on about this to you, right? And I've always said to you over the years, a professional footballer should never, ever, ever miss a penalty. Ever. In your life. I don't care whether it's a World Cup final, 100,000 people in the stadium. If you're a professional and you can't score from 12 yards, then you're a waste man to me.
This is where we disagree. And we disagree on... I agree that in this environment with COVID, no fans in the stadium whatsoever, there's absolutely zero reason you should ever miss a penalty. I absolutely agree with that. When you talk about the World Cup final and that with 90,000 fans screaming down at you, the pressure is a different level.
I'm sorry. Then that means you have a weak mentality. It means you have a weak mentality because you're scared you're going to miss it. You're not.
I think it's easy to be overawed by the situation. It's not that simple to just say, "Oh yeah, you've got a weak mentality." There's not many people that can stand in front of 90,000 people and bang a penalty top corner. Calm.
I'll tell you something. The highest level I've ever played is Sunday League, right?
Right.
And the bad Sunday League, not Hackney Marshes or anywhere nice like that, like the local park, WhatsApp group, bunch of guys, basically that kind of league.
Yeah.
I've never missed a penalty ever.
Yeah. Okay.
Ever in my life, and even in primary school, I don't think I ever missed a penalty. You tell me Aguero, for all the money he's on and the talent he is, a professional footballer. No way you should be missing a penalty ever.
No, he should have been, especially in this game, in that environment. That penalty should never have been missed. I do agree with you there.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I know why you're defending this. You probably missed a few penalties in your time.
I've actually never missed a penalty in my life. I played at slightly higher standard. I played at my university, like second team, and a few other decent leagues, right? Saturday leagues.
You've never missed a pen?
I've never missed a penalty, no.
Okay.
But
so what are you advocating for?
But because I've taken a penalty in front of like people where there's been enough people around, like 56 people around, and you do feel it a little bit, and that's only a small stage. And I still scored the penalty, mate. But we used to go to a tournament in Amsterdam every year. Yeah. And in that tournament, we were like a few penalty shooters back, and in those penalty shooters, there were about 100 people there. And I scored, but you could feel the heat of people like shouting stuff, and that is there. And that's only 100 odd people.
It should be.
It's
It should
50,
be top.
60,000 people. It's a different
Listen,
situation.
it should be top bins every time. Everything. I'm sorry, it has to be top bins every single time. If you're a professional and you can't get it in either corner, no, I'm sorry. That's not good enough. Imagine that was your job, was to play football day in, day out, train, and you're telling me after you've done that for like 10, 15 years, you have an excuse to miss a penalty? No way.
No, I do agree with the points that if you're doing it every single day in practice,
you're a professional.
You're a professional. People getting paid 250k a week to do it.
Thank you.
There's a lot less excuses. I agree with that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think slightly more complex than that. Right, let's. Anything you want to add to that about Chelsea?
Yeah. Again, I thought they looked impressive. If I was City, I'd be really worried for the Champions League final. Like,
he turned them into a machine, really.
Chelsea could very much beat them, and it is a real possibility. And if I was a City fan, I would be crapping myself right now. I just thought they look, like you said, they look like a machine, like a well-oiled machine. They had everything together. Gilmore's fantastic. Yeah, I think they've got the defense sorted out. The keeper looks decent. And they've got a goal in them as well. So very worried if I was a City fan.
No, I agree. I think they should be worried. I mean, it's one-off game, and I think City on their best day are better than Chelsea on their best day. But Havertz picking up a bit of form now. Werner's scored the odd goal here and there's picking up a bit more form. The funny thing I will say is, if you remember the last time Chelsea won the Champions League,
it was so fantastic.
They did it with a £50 million striker who was struggling to score goals and scored in the second leg of the semi-final exactly what Werner did, and they went on to win it. So I don't know. There's something in that. Maybe it's written in the stars. I think City, like I said, on their best day, are better than Chelsea anyway, and should really be beating them. But I can see Chelsea taking.
They went to Munich and beat that Bayern side, which is miles better than this City side, by the way. That Johan Cruyff's Bayern team of 2013, probably the best club side I've seen ever. They were that good, and they went there and beat them in their own backyard. I'm not putting anything past this lot, but I'll tell you something. If we were playing them, they would lose because for some reason they can't seem to beat us in finals. But anyone else, you know?
No, I agree. I think they're in trouble. Right, let's look at the Leeds Spurs game. So 3-1 to Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Spurs' top four hopes in my eyes are gone now. Absolutely over. I mean, I think they were kind of over a few weeks ago, but it's absolutely nailing the coffin time with this result. But Spurs have been like this all year. Like the week before, Bale bagged a hat trick, Son scored a worldie, they won 4-0, and then they turn up to Leeds and lose 3-1, even though that's more of an important game, really. I think the first goal was Reguilon's fault, and it's a nice equaliser from Son. Harry Kane was never offside for that goal either, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was
shocking
offside,
decision, by the way.
Another VAR shot, yeah. And you hate Spurs, and you're saying that.
Oh my God, yeah, exactly. Like I saw that and I was like, I mean, I did laugh. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, same.
At the same time, I thought if that is actually a shocking decision. Like, get VAR in the bin. Get it in the bin. It's ruining football.
No, I agree. I'd rather the mistakes they're finding and it gives them more exciting results. But it was a classic Leeds game, mate. They could have lost 5-3, but they turned it somehow 1-3-1 in Wales. How did you see it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Spurs looked quite decent in parts, but it's just the way the Leeds broke and the way they kept the ball, proper Bielsa ball. Yeah, you're right. They could have lost it if that goal went against them. It didn't, and they kind of pressed the advantage and took the lead. My prediction of Patrick Bamford coming into the Prem and banging goals is coming true. I always thought he had it in him to score. But if I was a Leeds fan, I'd be delighted. I think that result is the first of any of the top six they've beaten at home. They've beaten a lot.
They've got a lot of draws.
Yeah, a lot of draws. Lost a couple of times. They won away a few times, but that's the first win at home against the top six. But I'd say, just about deserved in the end for me. But coming on to Spurs, they're just so inconsistent. One week they look amazing, the other week they look just horrible. So, Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I would take that for my team because we're horrible every week. So it would be nice to have a change.
You're not horrible every week.
Most weeks.
I think you've had similar form to Spurs, mate. Some weeks you're good, some weeks you're bad.
We're not. Well, that's the thing. We're not too far behind them on points. I think we're like 5 points or something behind them.
Yeah, you've just had a couple more unlucky results, I would say.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Let's let's look at the Liverpool game. So, Thiago Alcantara banging a goal.
Oh my days! He has as many Premier League goals as Mohamed El-Neni this season.
Yeah, but I said this. It was one of those games again in the first half where I thought, oh my days, we're going to concede again, 90th minute. We've had about 4 or 5 chances in the first half to win this game, 3 or 4-0. Should have 3 or 4 goals. Diego Jota missed the sitter, and we were applying a lot of pressure for the first 25 minutes and some really good chances. Mane obviously gets his goal. It was a lovely ball from Salah, by the way. And Southampton, as ever, had chances to look dangerous in both halves, but finally someone could put it away in the second half and actually score a second goal and see us through for once, because can't remember when the last time that's happened, mate.
I know, but I was so glad for Mane scoring. Happy for Thiago as well, but I was really delighted for Sadio Mane because he's had a rough time of it recently, and he's so important. Listen, he's still world class. He's still a baller. You don't lose it overnight. So
no, I agree, but I think maybe his time here. One of them, I think he needs refreshing.
Trying to get rid of him for like 3 years now. I don't know what you're talking about.
I love him, and I love Salah too. But I think my thing with it now is just this year is like I think it's shown that we need to freshen it up, to liven it up. Mane used to provide more. I'd always said that from day one. He'd be more of a focus for defenders, which allowed Salah to score more goals. But I think this year we've been missing goals. So if you were to sell one of the two, you wouldn't sell the goal scorer.
If you're missing goals, why don't you get rid of the striker who doesn't score goals?
No, I agree. The thing is, Bobby Firmino. Yeah, for Firmino, I think he might go to Atletico. There's been talks of him going to Atletico.
What is it with Atletico buying these kind of strikers that you think are over the hill, and then suddenly they win the league? What are they doing over there?
I don't know. It's Simeone. He's a genius, isn't he?
Someone needs to go spy on their training sessions.
Yeah, because the Suarez, the last season for Barca, he looked terrible. He looked like he was a spent force, and now he's somehow worldly again.
He should have, like last season at Barca, like Suarez looked like he should be playing, beach football in Barcelona, not actual real football. He looked terrible. And now he's Atletico, and he's about to win the league. What? They did it with Torres before that. They did it with a Finnish Diego Costa when he came back the second time. What is it with? Anyway, I'm just baffled.
It's just a resurgence. I think he just knows how to get every last drop out of his players. I think.
Must be nice to have a manager like that.
Don't worry, we'll your game's playing right now, isn't it? Arsenal game. Arsenal West Brom is on right now.
Allegedly, I've kind of stopped caring. So yeah.
Well, it's 0-0 as we record, but let's look at the Villa United game. So United stopping City from winning the league this weekend. Well, I mean, City kind of stopped themselves by not taking their chances against Chelsea, but United 3-1 up. It was a lovely finish from Traore for the first one. Like, lovely hit. But Greenwood was picking up form again, mate. Have you noticed? He's starting
he's looking good. Yeah,
he's looking good again.
And it was a shout for the Euros.
Do you think an outside chance?
It could be an outside chance. I mean,
there's so many good players. There's so many good players in that team, mate.
Either way, you just know Southgate's going to make the wrong choice.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at that, if I don't want to spend too much time on that, but if you look at that you've got Rashford, Foden, Sterling, Sancho, like Jack Grealish, Mason Mount. There are some naughty players in that.
He's not going to take Sancho watch.
I think you're right.
But even though he should, because Sancho is excellent, but he won't take him.
No, Sancho needs to come to the UK if he wants to get successfully into it. And I hate that, but anyway, let's leave it. Hopefully, we can look at a Euros podcast. We'll see what happens. No, let's listen. Let's just
sneak peek.
Tease our fans. Tease our one fan with
exactly. Podcast. Write in our one fan if you want to see Euros pod. The write in black fuck though.
I'm tired of you guys. I don't know. So, and Cavani, mate, a bit of experience. And great time. They're all hitting form at perfect time, right? So looking into next year will be good for the Euros is good, and for the Europa League, it's good. They're in the final now, aren't they? So
Exactly. They'll
win that. Yeah.
100%.
I mean, how did you see that game?
I thought Villa started well. Great hit by Traore, like fantastic finish. But I'm just pissed off with these United penalties. How many penalties can one club get? I'm not saying they don't deserve them all, but if it's ever 50-50, it goes in their way every single time. How is that? Like, sometimes, when there's a penalty shout, sometimes when it is your penalty, it doesn't go your way, or it's 50-50 or whatever. With them, there's no ambiguity. Anytime there is a penalty shout, they get a penalty. And every time there is, Penanda steps up and tucks it away. That's all he does. He just see. That is an example of a professional footballer who should never miss a penalty. Like
it's
that,
true.
Every single player, even centre back, should be doing what Penandes is doing. But I don't know. I just get so pissed off every time I see it. Like I watch the game or I check the score and it's like Fernandes pen. I'm like, sick of this. Like, if I was an opposition player, I would be like, you know what? Let them have as many touches as they want in the box. Don't go anywhere near them. Don't tackle them. Don't touch them. And if you can kind of nip the ball away without, then do that. But
did you not think it was a penalty?
The Zuma one on Sterling was 10 times more. 10 times more of a penalty than that.
I agree, yeah.
But they didn't get that. But the one, this Pogba one was soft. It was 50-50. Maybe you could. I actually think it's probably 60-40 that it wasn't a penalty. Again, they got it. So, yeah, it just really pisses me off because I think they've had something like that. I think they're like 15 clear of the next team.
Yeah,
in terms of penalties. It's just pissing me off.
No, I don't blame you. It is very classic United to get a lot of penalties.
They got a penalty against Brighton when the whistle had gone.
Yeah, I remember that.
The whistle had gone. The game was over. They restarted the game, called it back, gave them a penalty. Come on, man.
All right. Well, let's look at the Burnley West Ham game. 2-1 to the Hammers. So top four race is an interesting one now because Hammers are kind of keeping themselves there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Now, it's definitely a penalty, and it was well put away from Woods, but I thought that was 100% a penalty, definitely. And it was a good goal. And Antonio's header was lovely between two defenders, was really powerful. And I really like Antonio, mate. He should be the outside chance for the
100,000,000%. Someone like that.
Yeah, just something different. It's a completely different option. Yeah. Absolute wild card,
Yeah.
The second goal, I mean, shabby defending, but it was a lovely pass. And West Ham really took over and dominated until the end, I thought, as soon as they scored their second. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit apprehensive for West Ham before this because going to Turf Moor is never easy, especially when you're coming all the way from down here. But how are they going to handle the occasion? Obviously, top fours of the line, and I thought they were excellent. Passing was crisp. Antonio was an absolute threat. That guy, honestly, if there's anyone that you want on the end of a cross in the Prem, it is him day long. Yeah, I thought well deserved. It was tighter than it should have been, but I thought it was well deserved for West Ham.
Yeah. So let's move on to then today's game, which was West Ham Everton, and Everton taking that 1-0. Calvert-Lewin goal. It's an interesting one. So Everton's kind of league position, they've started so much, but they have got a couple of games in hand. They haven't got enough. I think they need to win every single game to actually be up with a chance. I don't think they're going to do it because they've started too much. But these West Ham losses, who were slightly higher and got more points with less games in hand, right? They're leaving the door open for Liverpool. If Liverpool win all their games, they can. Like I said, I don't think they'll do it. I told you. But the door seems like, or as Thiago said it, the door is closed, but the window's still open.
Exactly. You can break it.
Yeah.
Never happens in Liverpool. Everton for me are a bit like Spurs. Just really inconsistent. But I think it's a lot more egregious with Everton because that squad is stacked. You have real quality players in there. I think, a better squad than Spurs' squad. So they should be doing. Oh yeah. Apart from Son and Kane, who have they got? Let's be real.
Bale's still got bits in him.
Bale's on the golf course.
Højbjerg's decent.
Højbjerg, he's just he's a Danish Mark Noble. He's not.
I like it. Maybe you're right. Maybe Everton's squad is slightly better.
Way better. But one Spurs player I do rate is Ndombele. I think.
And Ndombele, yeah.
Brilliant, excellent player. I mean, I think he's not far, like he's real quality. But if you look, Son, Kane, and Ndombele when he can be bothered. Who else? You got Dummer and Dummer at right back. The Doherty Laurier. You've got Hugo Lloris, who's probably more interested in drink driving and vomiting on himself. Bergwijn, who?
Yeah, but Bergwijn's okay.
What's he done?
Lucas Moura, Lamella. They've got an okay squad. They've got about 5 or 6 very good attacking players.
Lucas Moura, no way. I'm sorry. He was better when he had hair.
So are you, mate.
See, well, of course. How do you think I know? Shadow of my former self. He's a shadow of his former self.
Well, here's some positive news for you anyway. Arsenal 2-0 up.
Oh wow! What a surprise! Who scored?
Emil Smith-Rowe and Nicolas Pepe. But we're going to look at the Palace game before we because that game's on obviously as we're talking, so we can give you an update on what the scoreline is, but we can't talk about the goals, so we're not watching it. So, Sheffield United Palace, nothing game, absolutely nothing game. Yeah. But your boy Eze, doing bits, mate, doing bits. Palace controlled it, I thought, throughout. Yeah. And Benteke scored a lucky deflection. Both goals were deflections, but Eze was sort of, you've been raving about him from day one on this podcast, so I'll give you that, mate. Yeah. So,
huge talent. I was following him quite closely when he was at QPR, and I thought he's due a big move here. I was a bit surprised when he went to Palace. I thought maybe he could have gone to maybe a slightly bigger club, but again, he's just lighting it up. I mean, his run, I think there was a couple of runs he made where he just cut in. I think for the goal, actually. I think for Benteke's goal. Just a delightful run, like close control, and you don't really see players like that anymore. You know, you get more like, you know, people like short passes and, you know, runners and whatnot. You don't get anyone with kind of dribbles and close control. That's why I love Grealish so much. You know, they're different. So nothing game, boring for the most part, but Eze once again lighting it up.
Yeah. Okay, next one's Wolves Brighton, 2-1 Wolves. Again, in my eyes, kind of a nothing game. I feel like Brighton is safe enough.
No way they're going down.
No way. Exactly. So I feel like they're safe enough. So again, another nothing game. Wolves are mid-table mediocrity. Their season's long over. It was a good header for the opener. Wolves looked fallible throughout from set pieces. I thought the dunk, sending off, turned the tide. And it just allowed Wolves to take it. It was a good goal from Traoré for the first goal. Thought it was a good finish. But that's what he's best at, which I said to you from day one. I don't really rate him, but I think what he's best at is someone who doesn't need to think about it. That's when he's best, when he's just on instinct, basically. Yeah. So that goal was good because it was pass, and he just thought, I can't do anything but shoot, so I'll just shoot, and then he scores, right? That's when he's at his best, when he's not thinking about it, and he's just on instinct, just playing football. But I still think, again, his return's terrible, so I don't rate him. Yeah. Gibbs White misses a sitter and then scores a bloody worldie, mate. I mean, what a goal that was.
Just on that, I don't think it was a sitter. So if you look closely, when the ball is coming out to him, it takes a slight bobble.
But then we're talking about professional footballers. You should be able to judge.
Compensate for a bobble.
Of course you can. On a Premier League football pitches, mate, they're not bobbling that bad. You should be.
Well, it wasn't like a pitch from like 1970 Lancashire or anything like that.
Exactly.
There was a slight bobble. I mean, he didn't have time. I don't think he had time to take a second touch. So I kind of don't blame him for that one.
Well, you don't.
You can't compensate for a bobble.
I'm not.
You're not having that shit.
I'm thinking you're just being soft on the guy.
I'm not. It's maybe because I've skied a couple over the bar when it's bobbled up in front of me. So
more than a couple, I'm sure. Centre back is short of net, no. So, last game, mate, we've rushed through it, but we've got the big question to look at, and I'm so excited to hear what you got to say on that. So, West Brom Wolves, 1-1. Again, nothing game. I know West Brom are fighting to try and nip out of this bottom three. It's not going to happen. There's too much.
Yeah.
There's more Wolves at the beginning. I thought they attacked really well. Fabio Silva finally getting a goal. I wanted to ask you what your thoughts on him.
I think he's come over too early. I think the Premier League, it's a bit too soon for him. You've had players like maybe didn't come over from the Portuguese league, but obviously they've got Moutinho and who's the other guy, Podence and all these other people. So they look quite decent, but I don't think he's quite clicked yet. He's not really had a fair shake and a fair run of games because before Jimenez got injured, he barely even came off the bench. I still think, given time, I still think he'd be a great player. I just don't think he's quite there at the moment. As for West Brom, just disappointing again. You could see why they're down there. I don't really think it's their fault. But what I do blame them for is sacking Bilic. Because I think if Bilic had been in charge, they maybe could have got out of it. But they sacked him for absolutely no reason, and they deserve to go down on that alone.
I thought for the equaliser, it was terrible defending. And the game just petered off that for me. Yeah. And then it just kind of was over pretty fast. So let's jump onto this question. Something I've been excited about for 2 weeks now. Do you want to kick off? Why do you kick off?
Why you want?
Okay, I'll kick off. Right. Okay. How about this? I'll kick off on Arsenal.
Oh.
And then you kick off on Liverpool. How's that deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Wondering your question.
So it was. It's half time now. Arsenal still 2-0 up, by the way.
Okay.
So the top 3 players for Liverpool and top 3 players for Arsenal. So this is not in any particular order, by the way. It's just the top 3 players. Henry is my number one. No, not number one. My choice. Reason being is goals up there with one of the top 10 goal scorers. Gave a lot of assists. An iconic man at your club. He was a global superstar, and he was on another level. I think he helped raise the Premier League to a different level. I think he was doing things that was unseen at that time in the league as well. And for me, he was such an icon that him and Arsenal were synonymous, and I think that's one thing. My second player is Dennis Bergkamp. Now, the reason I've gone for Dennis Bergkamp is, in my eyes, he was technically one of the most gifted players of his generation, and definitely of all time. He was new football to the UK. People had not seen that kind of technical levels before. I remember that hat-trick against Leicester, which was just dreamy. He's probably scored the best Premier League goal ever with that flick against Newcastle and the spin and the turn. He was making football look so simple, and it was just beautiful. It looked very Dutch. It was just, for me, technically, he's the best technical player you've ever had at your club, in my eyes. And the last one is someone that you probably wouldn't think I was going to say, and it's George Graham.
As a player or a manager? No,
we're just talking about overall. I think as an impact for your club, I'm saying because player, manager, winner. He's one of the most successful managers of your history. He was a decent enough player and played there long enough. I mean, I could say Ian Wright, Patrick Vieira, Campbell. There are so many players like Emmanuel Petit. You've got Overmars. There are so many players that you could go through. But I think overall, player, manager, success, George Graham, I think nicks ahead of those guys for me, because I think he had more impact to your club than any of those guys had. And Henry Bergkamp is my other choices.
Cool.
So
that's good. I actually agree with that list. I think it's very reasonable.
Do you?
I was not expecting to agree with you, but finding myself, I can get on board with that.
Would you not pick anyone else? You would literally have the same as me.
No, I wouldn't. I would. I'd swap George Graham for someone else. But shall I get into mine now? Or?
Please, yes, please.
Okay, cool. So for Arsenal, no particular order. Obviously, the king, Henry. I remember when he first came along, he really struggled. I think he didn't score in like 6 or 7 games or whatnot.
But he started as a left winger, didn't he?
Yeah, well, exactly. He signed him from Juventus as a left wing, and then I think we moved him up top one time. I think away at Southampton, and just hasn't stopped scoring ever since. And it's not just that; it's his overall play as well. Like he I think in the 2004 season, he got something like 20 assists. Still the record, by the way. Still the record, I think. Unless
No, I think De Bruyne has broken it now. But, I mean, yeah, that's amazing for a striker to have that.
De Bruyne with his spam and his shuttle crosses. Get out of here, man. I can't stand that guy. So he's just absolute world beater. And there was a point in time where he was the best player in the world. There was a point. When was it? Maybe around.
I agree.
Yeah, like 03 to 05 maybe.
Yes, yeah.
And then I think Ronaldinho came onto the scene. That's when Dino took that mantle, I think, from him. But
he never won the Ballon d'Or, did he?
Well, he got robbed. He lost it to fucking
criminal.
Nedved, or was it Nedved or something?
Yeah, it was Nedved,
yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, and Pavel Nedved, the guy looks like a fucking hairdresser. Brilliant. Give it to him.
He was a great player, though. He was not on Henri levels, but he was a
No, he was not on Henri levels, and he never was on Henri levels, and he not even that season was your Henri levels.
No.
Just another case of UEFA racismo. That is my personal opinion, and not those of Deadball specialists.
No, I agree with that. You can put Deadballs on.
Okay, this is an official Deadball specialist opinion.
Absolutely.
UEFA and racismo.
Hand in hand, absolutely.
Hand in hand, mate. Second choice for me is obviously Dennis Bergkamp. I would say the most talented footballer I've ever seen.
Okay.
That's because I didn't see Zidane play live.
Okay.
I think Zidane would run him very, very close. But for me, like the most talented footballer ever, completely kind of transformed our club. That is when things really kind of took off for us as a club. We became a big kind of European club instead of just being like a big English club. We became not big, huge European club because we haven't won the Champions League, but just as a presence, and it's kind of really lifted our game. Like you said, that's why there's a statue of him outside. He was the first statue I think they put up outside. And my last player is Tony Adams.
Oh, okay. Why?
Tony Adams, because he is probably the best leader we've ever had at our club, and that's saying something. He won the league at 19. He skipped the team at 19, won the league at 19. Brilliant footballer. Left foot, right foot, could pass it. Good in the air. Great one-on-one. One of the best one-on-one defenders I've ever seen. He won 4 league titles with us. God knows how many FA Cups. The what was it? The Cup Winners' Cup that we won. Not the Cup Winners' Cup. What's the one we won in '94? What was it? Where we beat Parma 1-0.
The UEFA League.
I think it was the UEFA Cup or whatever the hell it was back then. Forgot what it's called now. But yeah, just an all-round leader. And again, all 3 of those people have statues outside the stadium. So
that's true.
That tells you something. If we're going by statues, then them until they put up a 4th one for Arsene Wenger, I think, because
he deserves one. I agree.
Honourable mention is Santi Cazorla.
Okay. Just on talent.
Just on talent.
He's incredible.
Wonderful player.
Okay, you can crack off with the Liverpool list.
Okay, cool. So again, no particular order. Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
What more can I say? I mean, that goal against Olympiacos alone probably puts him in this list. Let alone what else he's done for that club. The goal against West Ham in the final, and he got to another Champions League final in 2007 with you, and you were kind of unlucky there as well. Just an all-round wonderful player. He was a definition of box to box for me. Left foot, right foot, short passing, could spray it, goals, good in the air,
volleys, everything.
Tackle, just an all-round wonderful technical player and just brilliant.
Okay.
Next person. I'm only going with Liverpool players I had regular contact with, so I can't really go far too back. So just players I remember and kind of grown up watching. Next one for me is Xabi Alonso.
I've got 2 of the same on my list for you. Go on.
Really?
When did we ever agree this was? What an episode.
Wow. Xavi Alonso. When he came over from Sociedad, I knew it was going to be a problem, like a serious problem for everyone else in the Premier League. Saw him a bit over in La Liga. And I don't know. I know this is not always a really good indicator that he was a beast on Football Manager 2004.
Right.
So I thought, okay, this guy's going to come into these serious things. He's probably the best passer of the ball I've ever seen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just a wonderful player. He controls the tempo of a game like a light switch. When he wants to speed it up, he does that. When he wants to kind of slow it down and protect and maintain, he does that. Left foot, right foot, gets forward with a goal, can tackle, can play as a DM, centre mid, just an all-round, really talented player. Now, he's one of the few players I've ever seen that can run a game and literally decide how it goes. Just kind of, he's like a classical music conductor in that sense. So,
He is, yeah.
wonderful, wonderful player. My third one is Robbie Fowler.
Oh, Big Robbie, why?
Probably the most natural goal scorer I think Liverpool have ever had, maybe in modern times.
Yeah.
This guy, anywhere in and around the box, forget it. I very rarely saw him miss a sitter. I very rarely see him go through like a goal drought. Again, left foot, right foot, head. Just a beast of a machine of a goal scorer, and really should have won more with Liverpool. I don't even think he won anything with Liverpool, did he? So
just like a few little things, nothing really.
Yeah, I don't think he won any major honours with Liverpool, which is a shame. But yeah, Robbie Fowler for me.
Okay, so two saves. So I've got Steven Gerrard, obviously no particular order. Steven Gerrard, naturally, King Stevie. Everything has been said that needs to be said about Steven Gerrard in the past. I don't want to keep going on about it. Xavi Alonso, I don't think anybody as technically gifted has ever been in that club before or since that guy. I remember watching a highlights reel many times, and this was a time where players didn't get that much time on the ball, and it was against Spurs, and I think we won the game 4-0. And he had the ball for 2.5 minutes, and it's just unheard of at the time that someone has had the ball for that long because he was so involved in the game. And he ran the game, 40-yard passes, 5-yard passes. Everything was just, like you said, it's at his pace. No one can speed him up, no one can slow him down. If he wants to do it, he'll do it. And also, I think he made Gerrard 10 times a better player. I don't think Gerrard would have been as good a player if Alonso was not next to him, spreading balls and allowing him to be free. So, yeah, there's that. I think go on.
Sorry, just before you go into the last one, I still rue the day this happened. Summer 2009.
Oh, you tried to buy him?
We were in the market for a midfielder. Liverpool were desperate to sign Gareth Barry, of all people. Right?
I don't remember. Yeah. I almost
Gareth Barry. Okay, that's when I realised maybe Rafa's not okay in the head.
I agree.
So they were so desperate to sign Gareth Barry. They wanted to raise funds by selling Xabi Alonso to us for 12 million, right? 12 million, which is nothing. Xhaka cost 30, okay? Because it was a three-way kind of deal, you went back to Villa. So Villa came back to you and said, actually, we've raised our price for Gareth Barry by 2 million. Mm-hmm. Liverpool then came to us and said, we've raised our price for Xabi Alonso by 2 million. It's like I don't know. It's like a manufacturer passing on the cost to his customer.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Arsenal said no. Do you know why? On the grounds that we've agreed a deal in principle, we shook hands on 12. We're not paying more than 12. That's what they said, Arsenal.
And we sold him 30 to Madrid.
He had a brilliant year that year. Gareth Barry stayed at Villa and continued to be mediocre. Mm-hmm. Sold him for 30.
30 million, yeah.
He went on to win Champions League.
And then to Bayern Munich. Imagine if he stayed at your club.
Listen, I don't even know why I'm getting pissed off. He would have left after 1 year anyway.
It's the best thing that could have happened to his career not going to your club. Let's have it right.
Oh my God. We would have dragged him down with us.
Absolutely.
It's a bit like the whole Suarez thing. I mean, best thing for his career. Like he didn't come to us and goes to Barcelona and wins the Champions League. So maybe it's a lesson for Liverpool players. If Arsenal are in for you, don't bother going. Give it 1 year. You'll go something better.
And my last one is Ian Rush.
Oh, okay.
So the reason I say Ian Rush is because he's the reason I supported Liverpool. He's the first player I remember growing up. goal machine, mate. He's 346 goals in 660 games. So, it's a decent return of that time of football. I mean, it was just as I was starting to, the end of his career is as I was starting to begin to watch football, right?
Okay.
And there could have been loads of players. King Kenny, could have picked Suarez, Torres, Salah, Fowler, Barnes, Keegan, Souness, Owen. There's been a raft of players, but I think Rush was the reason I supported Liverpool. And I just used to love watching him play. The way he scored goals was fantastic. So I think him, for me, I've got a soft spot for him. So I think I'll always pick him for my third, mate. That was interesting. I'm surprised we agreed so much. For me, that's the biggest
are you
shock of
feeling
this.
okay? Maybe you need to lie down or something.
right back at you. Right back at you. Right, let's get some predictions going.
Cool.
And then we'll sign off for another week. Next week we're going to have a guest on or some calls. We'll see what's going to happen. But a few people have said me they want to jump on the calls again because I do enjoy that element of the show. So, first game, Fulham Burnley, nothing game. I'm going to say it's at home. I'm going to say 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I think it'd be 1-0 Fulham. Burnley don't really travel well, and Fulham just have to win. So yeah, 1-0 Fulham.
Next one is United Leicester. Big game.
Leicester falling like a stone. I'm gonna go 3-1 United.
I'm gonna go 3-0. I can't see Leicester score.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
At Trafford, I can't see them.
I think Iheanacho will score. That's the only reason I'm giving them 1.
Ooh, okay.
And then don't forget the standard complimentary Hernandez penalty. That will happen.
Yeah. Well, of course they will.
Put your house on it.
And what about Southampton Palace?
Ooh, Southampton Palace.
Kind of nothing game.
Yeah, I think it's time to win that. They looked good against you guys, and Palace don't seem to do well away there. So I'm going to go 2-0 Southampton. Okay.
I'm going to join you there. I think 2-0 is exactly the kind of result that's going to be. Next one's Chelsea Arsenal. I think for me, that Chelsea at home and Tuchel's a different guy. So I'm going to say that's 2-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea.
Are you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Wow.
And one of those will be a deliberate on goal by Willian to get back at Arsenal fans.
Villa Everton. Villa at home.
Oh, this is a difficult one to call. Villa at home. I'm gonna go draw. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Ooh, I'm gonna say 2-1 Everton.
Okay.
And the reason is because I think Everton away from home are a bit of a better team. And I think they'll do some stuff there.
Okay.
Next one, United Liverpool.
Oh, have they announced a date for that game?
Yeah, that's on the Wednesday.
Oh, so the one that got postponed, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
You go first.
I think United are going to take that 2-1.
Surprising.
Why did you think I think would win?
If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be very confident knowing that top 4 is on the line and all you need to do is win all your games. I'm going to go for a surprise 2-1 win.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But they need it. They'll come firing on all cylinders, I think.
Okay. Next one's Newcastle City. I think City take the lead there and win that game 2-0.
Did you say 2-0?
2-0. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with that. No, I'm going to go 2-1. I think Willock's going to score again.
And how about Burnley Leeds? Again, nothing game.
Burnley Leeds. No, I think Burnley will know that they're sliding and at risk of relegation. I think it's going to be a cheeky 2-1 win for Burnley. Okay,
I see 1-1.
Yeah.
I see just boring game, boring 1-1. Burnley taking all the fun out of the game.
Yeah.
Southampton Fulham, for me, that's a 1-1 draw.
I think 1-0 Southampton.
Oh, okay. Brighton, West Ham. How you seeing that? Brighton at home. Top
Brighton.
4 hopes for big for West Ham.
Yeah, I think West Ham will choke. Brighton are up for it. Give me a 1-0 Brighton win.
I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay.
Because I think West Ham appreciate that this is for their top 4 hopes. It's a big game for them, so they need to get a result out of it. So they'll throw the kitchen sink at it, but I think Brighton will just be good enough to just get a point out of it. Next one is Palace Villa. Now, nothing game. Villa are the better team. Palace at home have been struggling here or there. I'm going to say 2-0 Villa.
I'm going to say 3-1 Villa.
Really?
I think there's goals.
Why?
Villa. I just think that Villa are they've got goals in them on the road. Palace barely score. They're basically safe now anyway. I think Villa want to climb as high as possible on the table. I'm not saying Palace don't either, but I think they're going to be disappointed with their last couple of results. Villa and want to bounce back. So 3-1 to Villa.
Okay. Next one, Spurs Wolves. How you seeing that?
That's a tough one. Wolves only really got the win today because Lewis Dunn got sent off. I think if he didn't get sent off, Brighton could have won that. I think Spurs have been inconsistent, but I'm going to say Spurs will win 2-0.
Okay. I'm going to say 2-1 Spurs because I think Wolves will just nick a goal somehow. Okay. But I think Spurs will have enough, and I think it'll be one of those games where Spurs will dominate in patches. Wolves will have their moments, but not loads of clear-cut chances, and we're just going to see Spurs just get the better of the chances. Then we've got West Brom Liverpool. I think Liverpool win that 3-0 comfortable.
2-0 for me.
2-0 to Liverpool.
To Liverpool, yeah.
And the last one is Everton Sheffield United, and for me that is 3-0 Everton.
I'm gonna go 4-0 Everton. I think they'll smash them.
Oh.
And Everton are due a big result as well, so I think 4-0.
Yeah. Okay. That's the end of the predictions and the end of episode 10 of Deadball Specialists. Baldilocks and the 3 goats. Funny enough, some of the goats were the same in our eyes this time. It's a rarity that happens. And
we've not had one Deadball opinion yet on the episode. So, do you want to come up with one before we go?
No, I don't think I've got one this time.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I don't think there's one. You're normally the one that brings it.
Well, if you think of it, just text me.
Yeah, yeah, fine. I'll do it. Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us for another episode 10. Season's nearly over as well, so we'll be taking a little hiatus. Maybe a Euros thing. We'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us again, Ahmed. Welcome back. I'm glad your hammy's fixed. Enjoy the horse.
Thank you, mate. I'm taking it easy. I'm in light training at the moment. Not doing any sprints, stretching. So hopefully it doesn't pop on me like Michael Owen.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for another episode, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.